This is the time of the year where I participate to one of my favorite LEGO contests, which is the Rogue Olympics. I will tell you more about the contest along the video. Here you can see some of the builds that I made for the contest last year, but now I'm going to walk you through the first 4 builds that I made for this year's contest. The challenge in this contest is that with the given theme of each week, we can use a maximum of 101 parts for the complete build. So here we have the first one. Actually, this one is for the second day of the contest. The theme of the second day was peril. So this is what I came up with. Of course, now it looks a little bit of a mess, but you may have to look at the picture. This is the picture that I submitted to the contest with the right lighting and with the right perspective. Everything looks a lot better than what it looks over here on my desk. You can see I made use of big part for this one, and this one is actually not much of a technical build, but is more of a composition kind of thing, so placing the items at the right spot. Of course, I try to add all the possible things to make it look something a little bit dangerous. So we have a snake here, we have a snake over there, we have fire, we have a flame coming off here, water dripping, cables, chains, we have some slimy kind of liquid dropping from the top, a huge spider over here. We have a knife with a hand, blood, and a skeleton over there. But I think the most interesting part of this build is actually these kind of spooky eyes that are coming off from the back of the container over there. You can see even this one is not actually connected. I can lift it up and move it around. It's a very simple build made with just a few bricks. Also interesting, here I try to have some nice part usage, in particular with these minifigure head that come from the recent Triceratops CMF, for which I built an habitat if you follow my channel. That putting that in the background, it looked like a sort of grass thingy coming off over there. And here I'm also making a good use of this regular door, and I make it look like if it's actually the door of the container coming off. But now let's move this on the side and move to the more interesting build, in my opinion. Let's start from day one. So as I said, 101 parts. The theme for day one was as sweet as sugar. So here what I came up with on day one was the gingerbread train. So here I actually have to show you something else, which is the donor set for this build. So I actually took the tiny plants apart, took a lot of the parts that I then recycled to build this gingerbread train. And you can see also we have actually only the head of the minifigure. Let me see if I can take it apart a little bit and show you. So instead of having a full minifigure, because actually I don't have, I think I only own the head of this one, I build up inside. You can see over here also we have a very limited number of slots to keep the piece count below 101. Also, to complete this build, I actually added 2 very simple pieces, which are these flex tubes over here that I'm gonna add over here to make it look like the train is running on a track. And again, also for this one, of course, we need to make sure that we take a nice picture with a nice background and with the right color. By the way, I wanted to mention also this one. This is also a nice part usage. This one is a sort of power blast minifigure thingy that I'm, with the right balance, I can place there and make it look like a burning fire. I actually used this already in one of my other mocks, which was the Star Wars Visions Bandit of Golax mocks that I recommend you to go and check out. So let's move this on the side and move to my favorite. So on day 3, here I already took some of it apart. I can show you my microscale them. So these come in actually different parts that I can take apart to show you better. So the theme of this week was volume. So here I wanted to show a big volume of water. So here we have all the big body of water of the dam. Over here we have the build itself on which I managed to achieve a sort of curve in this section of the dam. Over here I have a sort of rocky mountain background that started with slopes and then with some interesting bigger pieces. I make sure to keep the piece count lower, even though the texture is good. I added a few more at the back. You can see here we have a printed plate for the little house on top. This one is gonna sit there, so I have an interesting landscape over there. I then added one slope over there on the side, and in this section I added actually a lightsaber to make it look like the water is going down the pipe from the upper section into the lower section, and actually is all connected. Let me see if I can add this one too. Now it's a little bit difficult with the microphone on the way, but over there I have a little bit of extra terrain, and also I decided to add a little boat made with just two pieces that is gonna go on top of there to help to give a better idea of this. Again, here is the final picture I took for this microscale dam section, which was for day 3. I highly recommend you guys to check out this contest. I will put the link down below, because this really is a very good exercise to push your creativity. You can see what they came out next for the day 4. I think is very, very cool. And also this is a contest that is accessible to people that, like me, have a little bit of a smaller collection of parts inventory. Of course, you know, all the mock builders, they, especially if you look on all the YouTube channels, they have massive collections. Well, if you have you are on the smaller side, this content is perfect. Limited to 101 parts. Of course, it is helpful if you have some interesting pieces here and there, but it's definitely a very good exercise for building improvement, for building skills improvement. So here is what I came out for the week 4, which is the latest one, and the theme was balance. So here we have a Shaolin monk that is balancing his iconic kick on top of a log. So let me know also in the in the comments if you would be interested in having instruction for something like this. Maybe even this microscale dam is something that might be interesting to make instruction for, and I'm thinking maybe for some smaller build like this one, sorry about the noise, for some smaller build like this one, I might consider making instructions in the future. Of course, making a little bit of adjustment, because I don't need to stick to 101 parts, so maybe I can order some more parts and make sure that it is nice and solid, because now the back part is not so nice and in some points is a little bit fragile, so I will have to rework it a little bit to make sure that then is good to build for everybody. I'm gonna show you just briefly how it's built. This one is just connected with one headlight brick at the bottom for the legs. I give a little bit of inclination. These all can come apart fairly easily. So we have the two legs, one kicking up, one kicking on the side. We have some round bricks over here coming off the side. And the head is connected with a modified plate like so. So I can give a little bit of inclination. Of course, there could be better pieces to make this maybe turn the head a little bit to that side, maybe with some sort of ball joint kind of thing. But it's a very simple, straightforward build, done with mostly basic bricks, plates, and slopes in orange. Over here, I added a bit of details in lime green. This one is also coming from these same tiny plants, and I actually used that also in the same minifigure habitat for the Triceratops, if you want to check it out. And then, because I realized after I built this that I still have some parts left in the 101 piece count, I decided to add a small side build to feed the team. Here we have a sort of droid head, make it into a Japanese style Far East kind of decoration with a little bit of I think these are sort of Dojo Ninjago printed tiles that they come from a small set. And again, I use some line details for these extra bits of grass coming up including these two katanas coming up here, so that it fits even better a team. So let me know in the comments which one of these four was your favorite. Go check out the Rogue Olympics that I will link down below, and let me know if any of these builds, in particular this one, would be something that you are interested for having instructions maybe on Replicable or some sort of site like that. Then, if you like builds like this last one with these katanas and these sort of buildable figure, I highly recommend you to go and check out my Mulan build that I built a few months ago for Vinh Week. One of my favorite builds, even though the video actually didn't get so many views, so I hope that it can pick up some more after this one. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel, because it's a great way to support what I'm doing over here. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.